So you can change your situation very, very quickly. And that's when I started making the money.
Okay. Hello guys, welcome to yourwealthyjourney.com, is where we interview successful entrepreneurs, people who have a story to tell, who have a value to add to this world. And today we'll be interviewing Liz Hancock. Welcome Liz to our show today, and glad to have you here to be interviewing you today.
Hi Joseph, it's wonderful to be here with you. Pleasure to be here. Hello everyone.
Okay. And who is Liz? Liz is a business success and mindset coach, and she helps struggling entrepreneurs, even small business owners, to get more clients and even to get the results that they want, so that they can have a happy life. And she's also co-author of the book, The Prosperity Factor by Joe Vitale. I hope I spoke his name right. And yeah, that's a bit about Liz. And you want to add anything to that, Liz?
Yeah, I don't mind blowing my own trumpet.
Go ahead.
So basically what I do is I give other coaches, consultants, health and wellbeing professionals the courage to build their business without limitation. So where I come from is I come from, it's not a pure business coaching approach.
Okay.
It's a lot to do with what's going on in here, and actually learning to follow our heart and learning to step into that place of courage, rather than letting our head rule and being, getting frozen in fear, getting stuck in procrastination, which is normally just fear disguised as procrastination. Just really enabling us to get into inspired action on a daily basis, and really not just building the businesses that we love, but living the life that we love as well. It's all about, business is life. I don't believe the two are separate. I think they are so intertwined, especially if you have an online business. It's your own business. And so I do think we need to look at everything. So your business has to make you happy, you have to make your business happy, and you have to make everyone around you happy as well, which is quite a tall order, but that's what I help people to do, really.
Okay, great, Liz. So now we know a little bit more about you. And are you ready to dive into the questions?
Let's go for it.
Our first question is, what does wealth mean to you? I got to know you through your Facebook group, and the title really got my attention. So, what does wealth means to you?
Absolutely. So that was my Wealthy Entrepreneur Facebook group, isn't it? And for me, wealth, it's not just about money, because you can have lots of money, but actually, if you haven't got the freedom to enjoy that money, to make a difference with that money, to spend that money, then really, what is the point? So for me, wealth is all about freedom of choice, freedom of time to an extent, and just enjoying what is yours. So, you can be really wealthy with dollars in your bank account, but if you haven't got your health, then I don't think you're very wealthy. Or you might be wealthy on paper, but what's the point, really? So for me, it's all about freedom.
Okay, great. It's more about freedom, and that is what you're helping your clients with then.
Absolutely. So my top program, my mastermind program, used to be called Project Freedom.
Okay.
And I changed the name because it wasn't resonating with people I was talking to about. Okay. But for me, that was really what it was about, creating freedom for people. But I've changed it to the Wealthy Entrepreneur Mastermind because that, like you said, you were attracted because of the title of my group. So it does resonate more with people, but to me, it is all about freedom.
Okay, great. So now that we know what your business is about, really, how did this idea come about to start this business that you've started for yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I kind of fell into what I'm doing now. I used to do coaching for businesses in my kind of before I had my kids. Took some time out, had my children, and then while when I was pregnant with my second child, I discovered this amazing technique called emotional freedom technique, or tapping. I
Okay.
don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's this weird thing that people do, tapping on their
Yeah,
acupressure points.
I saw it one time on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really, I won't go into it now, but if anyone wants to look it up on YouTube, it's pretty cool. There's some videos of me doing it as well. So I started doing that, and I thought, like, this is what I want to do. It's so amazing. I can heal people. I can help people through trauma. And so I tried to help anyone basically, and I learned a lot about having your own business and having an ideal client and a niche, because I didn't have any of that and it didn't work. So eventually I started to learn all this stuff, and I decided to grow my business and get really serious about it. And at the time I just happened to see a lot of mothers who were dealing with the stress of having a business and having kids. So I was kind of like, should I do business, should I do motherhood? Wasn't sure. And then I thought, well, whatever I do, I've got to grow this thing. So I got myself a business coach,
Okay.
which was the best decision I ever made. But then I thought, oh my goodness, I can't do this. This is way too scary. I'm not ready. I don't deserve to have this success. You know, who am I to do this? Who's going to listen to me? All these scary thoughts came up. So I hired another coach. So I was working with two coaches at the same time. But that second coach was all about mindset. And she actually used tapping, but with what I call them money freedom processes. She calls it tapping into wealth. Okay. So you're literally using the process to get really clear on what holds you back, on things like, I'm from a poor family, so I'm not kind of allowed to be wealthy because what will my family think of me? If I get rich, then people won't like me, or they might use me. If I do well, then I don't deserve it, so it's all going to be taken away. All those kinds of beliefs, you know, rich people are bad, you know, money is the root of all evil, those kinds of beliefs. And it unravels all of that in our heads and gets us really clear and realizing that money is just energy. Money is just a kind of like a transaction, a trade for things. And success is a great thing, because if you succeed, then you're going to help a lot more people at the end of the day. So when I was training with her, I realized actually this is what I want to really help people with, because it was so fundamental to me. So then my business just kind of like morphed into that, really. I just started telling people I was doing that and started pitching to clients and potential clients through my networking group. And they were suddenly, because I was niching, and I did an online summit as well. So that kind of put me into this different category of experts, even though all I was doing was like what you're doing, interviewing people, and pulling all of this together, which does take an incredible amount of work. Yeah. But it puts us in that category of expert, as it should really, because if we've got the guts to go out and ask people if we can interview them, then we must know what we're talking about, as you do, obviously. So that kind of elevated me, and then I started to just get more clients through that. So it kind of grew organically, really. It did grow very naturally.
Okay, and what was one of your biggest struggle in starting the business then? Did you have any struggles in
Yes.
the business?
Yes, absolutely. So although I say it grew naturally, that was at first quite a slow burner, because it was just such a change for me, really. I took my business from local networking to online. I was having to sell over the phone, rather than just hope that I would connect with someone at a networking group and chat to them and hope they'd want to work with me. But I guess when I look back, it grew pretty fast, but it wasn't without its hard times when, you know, I got a lot of no's, a lot of people saying they didn't want to work with me. And I think looking back, I know now why, because I wasn't clear on my offering. I wasn't clear on who it was I wanted to work with. I was still kind of like, oh, well, this will work for anyone, so I'll just talk to anyone I can talk to. And when I realised actually I'd rather work with that kind of person and created my ideal client, then it did make such a difference. When I started to narrow my niche a little bit more, that really helped. And
So,
that's been an ongoing basis.
okay, so we can say that your biggest struggle was not knowing who your ideal client was.
I think so, yeah. I think that's what it was.
Oh,
And not having the courage
okay.
to say, right, this is who I want to work with. Because you naturally think, well, if I say I want to work with that person, what about all these other people that I work with now? Am I cutting them out? And of course you're not, you're just being more targeted. And if those people are meant to work with you, they will find you anyway. But when you're starting out and when you haven't got lots of clients, it's very scary to do that. So I really understand why people don't do that and they spend too long worrying about it, because that's exactly what I did.
Okay, great. And you've and our next question is how long did it take you to earn your first dollars? You know, and in business the money is also important. That's why most of us we go in business. So how long did it take you to earn your first dollars?
I think I started earning from it fairly quickly,
Okay.
but because it's hard to say when sort of one business ended and one started, but I can definitely say without a doubt, I went from earning like, I think I was charging £60 per session. So that's English pounds. I'm in the UK.
Okay.
And it was very much, I'd do one session and then say, oh, would you like another session? That awkward conversation at the end, which none of us should have to have. And I went from that to saying to someone, okay, it's a minimum of 3 sessions. And I doubled my price. So I doubled my price and I said it's a minimum of 3. That was the first transition. And that made obviously a massive difference.
Okay.
So that was £120 per session. Plus I was charging having a minimum of 3. So that obviously basically tripled that. And then the next person I sold, I thought, hey, this works. I can do this. This is what my coach had told me to do. I did it and it worked. So I tried it again. I put my prices up again. So I had tripled them. And then I said it's a minimum of 3 months, not 3 sessions, but 3 months.
Okay.
And that worked. And now I rarely work with people for less than a year. I'm working on a program at the moment that will be 3 months, but that's very specific on what it covers. That's going to be like a money mindset program. But all my other programs, they're a minimum of 12 months, because I really believe that you need to handhold people for that long period of time. But in answer to your original question, yeah, it was doubled and tripled in the length of time, and then I did it again. So you can change your situation very, very quickly. And that's when I started making the money.
Okay, but when you started earning the $60, starting or charging that $60, like how long did it take you to start earning that money? A month, maybe 2 months?
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So when I initially trained in EFT, my training, I had to do some case studies and submit them. But then once I was qualified, because I'd worked with these people for free, I then said, "Hey, who are your mates? Who can you send to me?" And then when I started, I was only charging £40 a session, but that was literally within a couple of weeks. And
Oh,
it was, I was looking back, I was quite brave about asking people for those referrals, but it was because I believed in what I was doing so much, and I just knew that it would help them. So it was quite an easy thing to do. Yeah, yeah.
okay, great. And a next question that we have here is how much hours a day will you advise someone to work on their business, their part-time business, to turn it into a reality? Some people have dreams, want to
Mm,
achieve something great, but how much time will you tell them to invest in their
yeah.
the business?
Yeah, it's a really hard question, that, because I think it really depends on whether someone is an action taker or whether someone is more like me. And although I've said to you it was quite quick, in terms of the timescale, the amount of hours I've put in and the amount of time I spent procrastinating and faffing around, not doing what I was meant to do, not being focused. So for me, I wasn't working at the time. At any moment I would be working on my business. But if you're like, I can think of like my VA actually, who is a friend who I've just started working with. She is so efficient and so focused. She can get stuff done so quickly. So for somebody like her, she could work, do you know what? She could probably work an hour a day and a couple of hours at the weekend and still be growing her business.
Wow.
For most people, I think it would be a couple of hours a day and at least half a day at the weekend if you've got a full-time job.
Okay.
I think if you're doing more than that, you're going to burn out if you've got a full-time job. And hopefully, this is what's happened with a lot of my clients. Ideally, once you get a little bit of traction going, you get a few clients, then if you can reduce your hours at work, whether it's like one day less or work 5 days but over 4 days, so you've got a whole day at home working on your business, then I think that's, it has to go that way, because you can't have a full-time business and a full-time job. You can, my husband does it, but it's you need to be really driven. You need to have a big why, a big reason for doing it, and you need to have lots of energy. So you need to also be fitting in lots of exercise and healthy eating to sustain you, to keep you being able to do that, because it can be really tiring.
Okay, yeah, it is. And talking about procrastination, you also talked about limiting beliefs earlier in the interview. And according to you, how dangerous do you think these two things can be to someone's success? Limiting beliefs and procrastination.
I think they can completely destroy people's success, which is why when I work with people, that's what I work on.
Okay.
I don't just do business coaching, because if we're limited, we're never going to be able to put into action what we need if we procrastinate. And I am one of the biggest procrastinators. I'm way better than I ever have been or used to be, but I can procrastinate.
Yeah.
And so I know that's absolutely going to limit me. So it's something I have to kind of keep on top of. A bit like someone who's addicted to sugar. I have to manage it every day and reconnect to my reason, the drivers that make me want to build this business. So I really think it's absolute game changer if you can overcome them. Your business is going to fly, you are going to fly, and you're going to enjoy your business rather than battle it every day. You're going to actually enjoy it. And some days I don't have procrastination at all, and it's just like, wow, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. It's very easy to fall into, but if I don't let myself, then it's, life can be amazing. And not just business, but life as well.
And can you share maybe with our readers, our listeners, and our that are watching this video, what are some tips you can give people to, let's say, to overcome their limiting beliefs and their procrastination?
Okay.
You need to be focused, and you go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So I think the biggest thing is to be really clear on your vision and your why. So why is it you want to do what you want to do? Do you just want to make money? And if you're really, really like driven by money, then that's fine. There's nothing bad about that if that's what you want to do. But for most people, I think it's more than that. Like, they want to make a difference. They've got a story to share. They've overcome something major, so they want to help other people to do the same thing. What is it that is the whole reason that you started doing this? What made you wake up one day and say, this is what I want to do? And if you can connect to that on a daily basis, that's going to help drive you forward. I think the next thing is having a plan in terms of what you want your business to be like. So for me, I want time freedom, because I want to go and watch my kids in sports matches, and I want to be able to pick them up from school, and I want to be able to be with them at night time. And so my day is very segmented, but I'm all right with that because that allows me that flexibility. That is a massive driver, because if I had a 9-to-5 job, I wouldn't be able to do all that stuff. Life would be really not what I want it to be. And then I think the next thing is to have a plan. If you can plan, and so what I do with my clients, I have this form which I can share with you, Joseph, if you want me to. It's got the space for the vision at the top, what it is that you want to create in, say, between a year and 3. I normally say about 3 years, between 3 and 5 years. What do you want your life to be like? And then I literally just break down the year. So we have your 12 months, 9 months, 6 months, and the next 30 days.
Okay.
And then from that, on a weekly basis, you should just be able to pick out, okay, if that's what I want to accomplish this month, this week I need to do this, this, and this. And I'm really insistent with my clients that it's just focusing on 3 things. Because if you can do that, and do that before the admin, before the day-to-day stuff, you're absolutely going to move.
Only 3 things.
Just 3 things, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So 3 key things to focus on every week. And there'll obviously be different things every week. Or it might just be one big thing. And that's the thing that ideally you're working on first before you go into Facebook, before you start looking at your emails. And obviously, if you've got clients to serve, you need to make sure you're doing that, and that should come first. But stuff to really move your business forward. So I really hope that helps people.
Yeah.
That's what I've found. That's what I teach my clients.
Okay. So now we'll go to the next round, called a lightning round. Some question to get to know you a little bit better.
Okay. I'm nervous.
Don't be. It's simple. What's the best book you've ever read, and why is that? I know you have co-author of books together with Joe Vitale, but what's the best book you've ever read?
Yeah, so that's a great book. But the best book I've ever read is The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks.
Okay.
I love it. It's the reason being, it basically packages up everything I teach, but in really easy language. When I read it, I was like, he explains it way better than I do. So I would recommend absolutely everyone read that book. He talks about The Big Leap.
Oh, The Big
Leap.
Okay.
The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. Gay Hendricks, as in Jimi Hendrix, the singer guy.
All right, great. And what's a daily habit that contributes to your success?
Exercise, for sure. And yeah.
For how long do you exercise? Do you exercise every day, or?
I exercise most days. I'm not perfect. I have at least one day off a week. And if I'm starting early or I don't get up in time and my diary's booked, then I don't always do it. But a perfect day for me would be to get up before my husband goes to work and exercise. Like I did this morning, I went for a run before he leaves the house.
Okay.
And then I'm done and I can focus on my day. I get back from the school run and I'm working, rather than getting back from the school run, doing some exercise, having a shower, having breakfast, and then I start work at like 11 o'clock, and then most of the day's gone.
Yeah, right.
So for me, and it gives me energy, it keeps me focused, it manages that negativity that is sometimes likely to come up. I think it's really underestimated, the power of exercise. I think it's so important.
Okay, great. And who are your top 3 role models?
Okay, so my top 3 role models are, I did see this one in advance and I was really struggling with this one. I have to say, and this sounds really corny, and I wouldn't have said this until very recently, but my husband, he's finally started to work with me. He's very IT driven. He's as a whiz at IT stuff, and he's helped me sort my funnels out. He's helped me with loads of tech stuff
Okay.
that I kept saying that I couldn't do, or I'd have to hire someone, or I was hiring someone and it was costing me a fortune. And he's done it all for me. So it's brilliant. He's helped me get a team in the Philippines, which is costing me much less money than hiring someone in England. So he's one. And my second would be, I've already mentioned her, but my virtual assistant, Jenny. Jenny Moore of More Time. She is, she's just so focused, and she just does stuff so quickly. I've just been like blown away, and I've only been working with her a week. She's been a friend for a long time, and I hesitated to hire her because I thought, oh, she's a friend and it might not work, but I'm sure I won't ever doubt it. I think she's regret it rather. And then my third would be, I don't know if you're familiar with her or or your listeners will be, but Doreen Virtue. Have you heard of her?
No, I've never heard of her.
She's a very spiritual lady,
Okay.
and I've only been following her about probably less than a year,
Okay.
but since I found her, I love what she does. She does a lot about spirituality and manifestations and angels and stuff, which I just love learning about. I just think it's really fun and nice. But the reason why she's my role model is that she, and whether you agree with her religious views or not, she kind of had a Jesus moment and found God. And it's not that that's why I think she's amazing, my role model. What I really respect is that since she's done that, she's decided to really follow her heart, and she's now focusing on that in her business.
Okay.
And the reason I think that's amazing is that she has lost so many followers. She's got real haters now. She's got people slating her on YouTube. Everyone's saying, what's happened to Doreen Virtue? She's gone nuts. She's mad, blah, 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 blah. Really nasty stuff. But she has stuck to her guns, and she's done it in a really nice way. She's maybe a little bit preachy for some people, but she's never condemned anyone or called anyone out. She's just dealt with it so gracefully. I think she's really just followed her heart, and like it's her cause that's bigger than her. So the ego is just gone. And I think that's amazing. She's still done it despite all the risks. So that's why she's kind of like a bit of a hero for me.
Okay, one more time her name.
Sorry?
One more time her name, please.
Oh, Doreen Virtue, Virtu, I think.
Okay, I'll check that out later.
Yeah. And honestly, it's whatever you think about religion, it's not that I think, oh, I mean, I am Christian, but that's not the reason why I've connected with her. I just think how she's done it is just really impressive.
Okay.
Yeah, very brave.
Okay, great. Our next question is, what's the best entertainment movie that you've watched so far?
Actually, we watched this really sad film yesterday called A Dog's Purpose. Like sad but lovely. It's all about this dog having this purpose. And I wouldn't say it was life-changing, but it was just so lovely, really lovely. Shawshank Redemption is amazing. Anything that's educational, anything that I think, I watched it with my kids, this Dog's Purpose thing. So it's obviously very emotional, but I think it teaches them really good lessons about having purpose in life. Obviously it's about a dog, but we can easily use those lessons. And when you get young people with those lessons, I think that's really, really powerful.
Okay. You have any dogs at home, maybe?
We don't. I think my daughter wanted to watch it to try and convince us to get one, but it's actually done the opposite, because I keep saying, well, they just die. I don't want a dog because it's probably going to die.
You'll still want one. You never know. Maybe she have her own purpose.
Yeah, we will get a dog eventually, but when they're a bit older and they can take it for walks themselves.
Great. Our next question is, let's say one day you woke up, you had no money, only food, shelter, you have your laptop, and the internet. What would you do in the next 30 days to earn $1,000?
Okay, so if I had no money,
only food,
okay,
shelter, a laptop, and the internet.
Okay. What I would do is I would get busy on Facebook. I would connect to people on Facebook, create a group, or continue to connect with people in my group. Do what you're doing, interview people, get my name out there, connect with people, offer to have calls with them, say, I can help you. While you're on the call, connect with them. And if you can help that person, then offer to do that. And get those clients, because they're out there. There's so many people that need our help. You do literally need a laptop and a bit of some guts and some bravery and a purpose, and then you can make it happen for sure.
Okay, great. And we have two more questions, the last two questions. And can you give us a parting piece of advice for people on their wealthy journey?
Okay. Oh gosh, there's so much advice I would love to give.
Yeah, just the most important advice that
The
you
most important one.
give to self.
Okay, I can have two. So exercise
Okay.
to create that space in your head to think and get inspiration and clarity and all those things. And then what would be the next one? The other key thing would just be to have that higher purpose, because I do believe if you've got that and you connect to it daily, then you can't, if you've got that purpose, you can't not take action. You just have to.
Okay.
As hard as that action might be or might not be, you can absolutely do it, as long as you've got that driving force about why you want to do that, who is it you want to help, and why.
Okay, great piece of advice there. And our last question is, how can we connect with Liz today?
Cool, thank you. So my proper business name is Elizabeth Mary Hancock. So my website is Elizabeth Mary Hancock, HANCOCK.com. You can look me up on there. You can send me an email, liz@elizabethmaryhancock.com. Sorry, it's a bit of a long one.
Okay.
You can join my Facebook group. Maybe you could put a link in to that, Joseph. And I'm just here to help people and to serve, and to what I just want to see is that people really do have the courage to build their business without limitation, because I think that's available for all of us. And if I can help someone to do that, then I'm fulfilling my purpose and my why. So that's it.
Okay, I want to thank you for this time you've made. I know you have a busy schedule, but just want to say thanks to you
My
for
pleasure.
making the time for us, and so we can learn something also from you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me, Joseph. That's great.
Okay. Hey guys, I hope that you have gotten ton of value from this interview. I have a free gift for you guys, and you can check that out in the link below. It will be marked free gift. It's a goal achievement roadmap, and I believe personally that everyone should be successful in every area of their life. So check out the link below and start your wealthy journey right now, today. Bye guys.